Good morning, everyone. I welcome you to the sixth day of the webinar. With no more delays, let's get started for today. And any questions or suggestions, you can always use the live chat session, and I'll get back to you in the live chat. So, with this, we'll go back to our session agenda for today. So, for today, we'll also have to complete the yesterday's Firebase thing. So, I have included the same for today. So, I'll just take a quick look into the Firebase and then show you how can you control the Firebase. Once we are done with it, if time permits, at the last we'll see how can we build our own application and then access the Firebase database using our application. And then we'll see what is Mqtt. We'll see what are the types of Mqtt brokers we have, and on that Mqtt brokers we'll choose Adafruit as a service and then set up and see a demo. Once we're done with doing the demo with the Adafruit broker, we will use Mqtt and see what all it can do. It's a huge and very awesome thing of communication and integrating the things. So we'll look into IFTTT and get started with IFTTT. Once we're done with IFTTT, we'll use the IFTTT and then help it to integrate with Google Assistant. Once we're done with Google Assistant, we'll see how can we do a live, like just call up the Google Assistant and then give a command to it, and then how it replies us back and does something for us in response. So this is our agenda for today. So as done, we'll move on to first thing, that is complete the uploading part of the Firebase which was remaining yesterday, and then check out how does it work, and then we'll start with Mqtt. So here is my code for the Mqtt, sorry, Firebase. I hope you remember that we need to have two libraries, that is a Firebase library and also a JSON library. And once you have those two libraries, you need to have the authentication key, that is Firebase host, and Firebase authentication key. Once you get those credentials and update the same in the program after following the passwords and the SSID, we just declare two variables, that is n and m, and then getting those variables and the feed values, that is LED status and LED, whatever we had declared in the Firebase. I'm calling those two things, and based on the conditions or based on the data being changed or data being uploaded to the Firebase real-time data DB, based I am going to read those database from the Firebase DB, and whenever I see a change in the database or the values being updated, I keep on checking those values. Whenever I get the change value, I'll read that value, and here, and based on the value being changed, I'm going to perform some action. So I have given is like 1 or 0 as the two values, whatever I'm going to update in the real database, that is Firebase database. And whenever I have m equals to 1, that is feed 2, that is LED status equals to 1, I'm going to make D6 high, and whenever n is 1, I'm going to make D5 high, else I'm turning both of them low. So this is just for the program. It's very simple. We just have three things. First, declaring the credentials and the host, then beginning the Wi-Fi connection, and then reading the values from the database. So just with the three parts, we are done with this. Let me go back to the Firebase console. So I'm here my this, and let me search for Firebase Console. So I'm here on my Firebase Console, and this was my project that was auto respond yesterday. I'll just open my project again. And once I open, I'm going to my dashboard, that is or a database. I'm going to click on a database. And yesterday, remember, like we had created a real-time database, so I'm going to choose the real-time database again here and open it. So here you can see I have two things, that is two instances, that is LED and LED status. I have created two instances, and the values what I'm passing to them are 0 or 1. So you can see as of now I have value zeros for this. So LED and LED status are the two instances what I have declared here, and those are the same two instances what I have also declared in the Arduino program. So with this, let me go back again to the, I'll show you the LED and LED status in the Arduino program, and we'll also upload the sketch to the Arduino IDE. So first, let me switch the screen. So you can see here those two instances what I have declared there is here. Firebase get string for LED and LED status. So I have connected my Node MCU to the laptop, and then I'll go to tools first and then check out the port. Is port is on a proper COM10, and then click on upload. Until it is uploading, I'll show you the connections for the same. All I have done is very simple, that is just connected the pin to D5 and a D6. So I'll cast my screen. Okay. So as we are done with Firebase, we'll see what is MQTT. MQTT stands for Message Queue Telemetry Transport and is a published subscribe messaging protocol widely used in IoT applications. The difference between HTTPS is like that is this is data centric, and that is not a data centric, and this is very much lightweight, and so it is and very much less energy consuming, and hence MQTT is used in mostly IoT applications. So we have something called Mqtt Broker that will be the middleman between the two peoples. As you can see on the middle peoples, and there will be a subscription and a publishing. It is highly recommended for a microcontroller project that sends data over the internet. So how it actually looks like. So this is how it looks like, where you have a MQTT broker in between, and that will be the middleman between the subscriber and the publisher. So for example, I subscribe to some publisher. So whenever that publisher publish some data, this MQTT broker will send me the data, or so will send the data to the subscriber. And whenever the subscriber wants the data, it will ask again, always ask for MQTT broker for the data. And if there is a data available, it will send the data to the subscriber. So this is how it works, like a subscription and a publishing. So it is also called a pub sub type of communication, where pub is for publishing and subscriber is for sub is for subscribing. So MQTT is completely responsible for distributing a data, while the subscriber just reads the data from the MQTT broker, and publisher publishes the data to the MQTT broker. We have quite a few MQTT brokers available. On that few we have, to name few, we have Mosquito, HiveMQ, Shift.io, Adafruit, and ThinkSpeak. So we already saw ThinkSpeak yesterday, and for today we'll be seeing Adafruit Io. So I'll take you through the Adafruit Io. How can you get started with Adafruit Io? You can also try out Mosquito, HiveMQ, and all other things. So I feel Adafruit is a bit easier than all others. So I'll take you through Adafruit. So we'll get started with Adafruit. So for that, you need to make an account in Adafruit. I'll go take you back to the screen. Search adafruit.io, and then you get welcome to Adafruit, io.adafruit.com. Click on welcome to Adafruit. Once you get this, if you are new to this, you can click on get started for free. I'll click on this and let me see what happens. It'll ask you for the first name, last name, username, and a password. So let me just give a random thing. I'll not just and username as something ASS, and a password something like this. And if you click on create an account, uh, it again asks you for something called gravatar email and a favorite color and a time zone. You can always select the time zone to whatever time zone you have, that is plus 530 for us, and favorite color you can skip, and also the gravatar email you can skip this. So just to show this gravatar email, will have a issue with, I made this account and this email doesn't exist, so no issues with this. So I already have an account, so it says me, okay, it already says me hi. I'll go back and sign in with my account. I'll click here sign out, and then click in for sign in. You can also order Adafruit products, and you can check the status here. I'll just enter my mail ID, enter my password. The password was okay. So I've done entering the passwords and the user ID credentials. Once you're done with that, you'll have this kind of dashboard. So this is how your Adafruit IO dashboard looks like, where you'll have your user name and your dashboard. So in that thing, you need to do is click on actions and then click on create a new dashboard. Once you click on create a new dashboard, you need to give a dashboard a name. So I'll just give it webinar. You can always delete the dashboard, so you can always create one. So create a dashboard. You can also add up the description, but I've not added anything. Once you have created a dashboard, click on the dashboard you have created. Once you create a dashboard, So I click on a dashboard, it will take you to the your dashboard, that is whatever you have created, that is I have created for a webinar now. So now it looks completely empty. I have no widgets or nothing such, or no any tools here. So what I need is I need buttons where I press button, and when I press a button, whatever I want to control, or whatever the pin I want to have the access to should be accessible. So for that, to add a widget, anything such, click on the plus button here, and then it gives you quite a few blocks. That is, you have button, slider, gauge, readings, color picker, keyboard also, and so on. So I'll just go with a toggle button now for now. And once I click on the toggle button, it'll ask you create a new feed. So I'll just that is a new feed name. So I'll just create a feed name, that is webinar. So I created a new feed, and then I'll choose the feed whichever I have created. So I'll choose the webinar and then click on the next step, and then it asks me what is the block title. So I can give anything. So let me search, let me give this, and then what text to be displayed when on and what text to be displayed when off. So I'll just keep it to default whatever I have, and then click on a create a block. So once I click on a create a block, now you can see I have my block here. And if I click on and off, so it does nothing as of now. I have not integrated, or I have not used this keys or anything such anywhere else. Once done with this much, now as said earlier in the previous webinars, that whenever you need to access to third-party servers or use their application, you need to have API keys or authentication key and the username. So even here, as we had in the ThinkSpeak, even here you need to have both the API key or the authentication key and a username. To get the same, you need to click on this key, your secret Adafruit Io key. Once you click on that, you will have your Adafruit Io key like this. So you need to copy this username and the active key. You can always change the active key by clicking regenerate a key. So if I click on a regenerate a key, I get a new key here. So I got a completely new key. So you need to copy this username and active key, because we need both of this to get access to the same. Now I'll click back to my dashboard, and then I'll open my automation project which I had earlier already done. In this I have three buttons, that is light one, fan, and a bed light. So these are the three buttons what I have done. And here is my AIO key. I'll not change anything such. I'll just keep it as it is. And now if you want, in case, consider you have created a block and you don't remember what is the feed name for this block. You have given it a light one, where so this is the title of the block, not a feed name. So how can you get that thing? Or you have added few extra blocks and you want to delete the same. So for that you need to click on the settings. You get this circle setting here. Click on that. Once you click on that, you get this, and then here you can see you are into a edit mode now. If you want to delete, you can click on a delete here, and your block will be deleted with everything, all the settings. Or else you can click on an edit block, and once you click on an edit block, it shows you what is the name of the feed. So the name of the feed of the light one is on, and I can go ahead and check out the other details about the same. So I'll not do that thing because I know my feed name. Once you're done, you can click on a save, or if you are not willing to change anything, click on a cancel. So I have clicked on a cancel. Now, as very much familiar with the Adafruit IO, the dashboard, and how can we create a feed, and how can we have new dashboards, how can we add a blocks, and how can we also edit the changes or delete or update the settings for the same. Now we'll go back to our Arduino program. So here is my Arduino program here. Okay. Now, as we are using MQTT protocol, MQTT client, we need to add the library, that is Adafruit MQTT library for this. To do the same, you can again go back to the sketch and click on include library and click on manage libraries. I'll just show you whether it is there or not. So once it is done updating the list of libraries there, I'll search for MQTT. Hopefully I get it here. If I don't get it here, you can always find that in a web. So if I search MQTT, I should get something. So here you get something called Adafruit Mqtt client. Or here you can see Adafruit Mqtt library you have, this one. So you need to, I have already installed it, so it's not asking me to install. So you need to install this Adafruit Mqtt library from here. Once you're done installing from here, I'll close this. Then you'll have this mqtt.h and mqtt client.h libraries. So you need to add those things. And ESP8266 remains constant because we are using Node MCU, so we are not going to change that thing to anyway. Now next, I have here already made this for my automation project. So I have declared 4 names, that is relay 1, relay 2, relay 3, relay 4. This was made for a home automation, so we always needed relays for that. So I have named it relay 1, relay 2, relay 3 and relay 4. You can always give any name you want, and then I have declared the pin numbers to it. So D5, D6 and D0 and D1 are the pin numbers what I have using or assigning to this relay 1, relay 2 and relay 3, so on. And then next we have is Wi-Fi name and a password, as it is always a constant. We need it for all the projects where we try to connect to internet. So now this part is IO setup, that is Adafruit.io setup part, where you have 4 important things, that is Adafruit IO server and a server port and a username and a key. Whereas server and a server port remains constant, that is io.adafruit.com for the server, and server port 18883 remains constant for this. The changes what you need to make is username, and this username is the same thing which I had shown you here. When you go here and then click on a key, so this is the username and a key. So these 2 things you need to copy it and paste it here respectively for the username and a key. Once we are done with that thing, now this part is creating an ESP8266 Wi-Fi client. So this is again the same thing. We are just setting the MQTT client, and the credentials what we are using for this is, as you can see on the function there, EIO server, EIO server port, EIO username and the key. So by using all these credentials, I'm connecting to the MQTT client. And in the next part we have is feeds. Now based on this line, whatever you see this line Adafruit Mqtt subscribe, based on this line I am subscribing to my feed. So the feeds are whatever the feeds what I have created there. So this is the syntax, that is Adafruit Mqtt subscribe, and the name for that I have given is light one. And what this light one holds is I'm subscribing to it, that is calling Adafruit Mqtt subscribe, and this part remains until here constant, until the feed remains constant, and after the feed you can see this is on. So now this line subscribes to the feed on. So on, as I shown, I just showed you some moment ago. I'll just show you the feed name of this. So if you click here, you can see the feed name for this is on. So I am subscribing to this feed. So this is the feed name what I'm going to be providing here. And for the next I have provided nightlight and a relay and relay 3. So these are the respective feed uh, respective feeds what I have. So if I just click on the properties of other ones, you can see here, and for this the bed light, the feed name is nightlight. So I have copied the same, or I have going to enter the same feed name here, and this line will subscribe to that feed. So once you have subscribed to the feed, the next lines are, so we are done with subscribing for the feed parts, and now we are setting up the pin modes. So pin mode relay 1, relay 2, relay 3 and relay 4 are the output what I have declared earlier, and the serial begin phase for the communication thing. And this part is connecting to Wi-Fi, as I have already explained this 3 times until now. So this remains the same until here, until we get this thing. Now setting up the MQTT subscription for feed, that is now I'm using those light 1, light 3, light 4 and subscribing to the MQTT by using this. Now in a loop, first what I'm doing is doing a subscription for this, and now if the subscription here here are the my conditions, like how I'm going to read from the Adafruit Io server and read the feed. And based on the subscription, what I'm doing, whatever the value I'm getting, based on that, I'll change the thing. So here you can see if subscription equals to light one, that is the very first subscription what I have done. We try to get a value and then print that value, whatever the value I got, and then I'm just toggling the state of the pin, whatever I'm doing. So I'm like detail right relay one light state. So if it is on, I'm turning it off, or if it is off, I'm turning it on. So I'm doing the same thing using light state. Whatever the like this last state will be reading the last status of the switch or the feed. If it is on, it will turn it off, and if it is off, it will turn it on. And the same continues for all the remaining four. So this is for the light 2 and the followed by light 3 and the light 4. And once we are done, it is done. So and this last part is for error handling, that is if it is not connecting to the MQTT, then try for 3-4 times, and if it doesn't, then go for a deep sleep. And if it is connected, then should print MQTT connected. So this is how our program looks like completely. It just have four things, that is very first thing we are defining the pin numbers, and then Wi-Fi credentials, then uh, AIO setup part, then connect subscribing to the feeds, and then we have as a Wi-Fi connection, followed by if and else if conditions, whereas like I'm just reading the subscription, and if whenever I'm getting a data being changed, I'm just toggling the state. So I'll check out the tools first. Let me upload the program. Tools are proper. I'll upload the program. So it's uploading now. Just compiling the sketch. Let me wait until it's uploaded. It says done uploading. Let me go to the serial monitor and check the status for the same. So it says retrying MQTT connection in 5 seconds. Okay, connections failed. Connecting to Ahmed. Let me just check out the subscriptions key, and so that Adafruit 6C cancel dashboard cancel key. Okay, you can see here the AIO key, whatever I have is a completely different key, because moment ago I have regenerated the key, so it is changed one, so it is not able to connect it. I'll copy this and paste it in my new program here. Control P and then upload it again. Until it has been uploading, I request you all, like, we'll see how can we, what is IFTTT until then. So IFTTT stands for if this then that. It is a web service that allows you to connect apps and web services and let each other speak. You can have anything such can consider, like whenever it's morning 7 o'clock, turn on the light, or when it is raining, turn off the light, or if it is the wind is blowing at so and so speed, turn off the windows, or if you are in so and so places, send a message to whom. Like you can literally automate anything you want. It's a very simple thing, and you can literally interconnect every single thing. So whereas if this then that, this stands for a trigger and that stands for an action. So we'll get started with IFTTT. Before that, let me go back to the Adafruit Io and check out it is an uploading, and let me see if it is connected to the, yeah, now it is connected to MQTT. Here you can see it is connected to MQTT. So always remember never to have a wrong MQTT, I mean wrong AIO username or a key. Without that, it will not be connected. I'll just go to this IO, Adafruit IO data, Adafruit IO dashboard. I'll minimize it and also minimize this. Sorry. Now I'll try to operate it from here and see if there is a value getting changed here. So if I click here, light 1 turn on. Okay, it is still connecting to me. I should get a got value 0 or something or like that. It's still trying to connect to MQTT. I'll just reset it once so that. So you can see when I change it said got value 0 or 1, and I will also show you the live screen of this. If I change the other value, even then it says 1 or 0. If I change this bed light, it changes to, okay, got 1. I'll show you the screencast for the same. So here is my lights, and if I go back here and then change the value to something, I'll just now you can see uh, 2 lights are on. I'll just try to turn it on this, and if I get a value here, I'll just reset it. Okay, if I just change the value here, it's not taking the values. I'm not sure. Let me reset it. It is delaying, like the light turned off, but I'm not getting a values here. Let me try once again by doing it. Close this, open the sale monitor once again, and also open this. So yeah, you can see here now if I just change the value 0 and 1. So in this you can see my light is white light is off, and if I just now it is white light is off, and now if I turn it on, the white light turned on. Let me turn off the other one, fan. Okay, again it went to connecting. So when I click on that, you can see this blue light is on now, and if I turn it off, okay, again so there's some issue with the connecting part, so I'm not getting it, I'm not receiving a values here. So you already saw whenever like it was receiving a value, how it works. Like I'll just try to do it once again. It's keeping on disconnecting from the MQTT, so it's trying to connect once again repeatedly. I think so there's a problem with this connection part. So anyways, we already saw like how it is working with the same with the Google Assistant. So now we'll see what is IFTTT now, and integrate this Adafruit with an IFTTT. For that, you need to do is you need to install IFTTT. For the, let me show my screen now. I'll just close this and let me help you out with how you can get started with IFTTT. You can open the Play Store and search for IFTTT, and you should be getting this. We'll install this. I have this installed in my other device, but I'm using other device for casting the screen. So it is all installed. Now I'll open it. I'll click on a continue, and now we need to make a sign in with some Apple ID or a Facebook or Google. I'll go with Google and then I'll choose account. So I'll choose the account. Yes, done. It says get started. I click on no thanks. I don't want him to say me anything. Now you can click on create, click on a create, and then here you get this, if this then that, where this is a trigger and that will be an action. So click on this, and now you can choose from so many services available here. You have a lot of services. So we need is, we'll read data from Adafruit Io, and whenever there is a change in the feed in Adafruit Io, I'll do something. So for that, I'm using Google Assistant. So I'll call Google Assistant first. So whenever I say a phrase like turn on light, then that will give a that is action to the Adafruit. So we'll, and then whenever there is a change in the I'll change the value there. I think so I made it confused. What I'll do is, in this action, I'll call up the Google Assistant, and whenever there is a Google Assistant, the trigger is like I tell Google Assistant turn on the light. So Google Assistant will call up the Adafruit, and it will ask some particular feed whichever I select to change the value, that is to 1 or 0, as we were doing a bit earlier using the manual, that is by clicking on the switches. So first for that, I'll search Assistant. If you search Assistant, you get this Google Assistant. Click on Google Assistant, and now click on say simple face, connect to it. So it is connecting to the Google that is IFTTT is getting connected to the Google. So I'll just so I'm done connecting it to the Google. It asks you what do you want to see. I'll tell turn on light. It again asks you what's the other way to say it. Let me see, light on, and it also has other option that is optional. And now you have what do you want the assistant to say in a response. Okay, and then it asks you select the language. I'm okay with the English itself, I don't know others. Click on a continue. Now we are done with the trigger part. Now we have is that part. Click on that is action, and then here I'll search Adafruit, not Adafruit, Adafruit. So I get Adafruit here. Click on Adafruit, and now as this is the first time, I need to set up the Adafruit also. So Adafruit, connect to it. Click on a connect. It'll take you to the page. Enter your mail ID and the password what you have used for signing in with Adafruit. I'll enter my mail ID. And then enter the password. Never. So I have signed in, and then get this, you need to click on authorize. Click on authorize. I'm giving access to the IFTTT. Once I'm done, we are done. Now it asks you select the feed. So I'll select the feed on it. You can see here you have all the feeds whatever you had on the account. I'll click on data to save as 1. Hopefully it should be right, or 0. I think so it's 0. Turn on. Click on a continue. So now your one action is ready. In IFTTT we call one particular this thing as an applet. So now my applet is ready. I click on a finish. So it says it's connected. Okay, got it. So applet is the name it says. If you want to edit anyways anytime, you can just click on the settings above here, and then you can edit everything you want. I says no. Okay, go back. Yes. Okay, now once I'm done with this, I'll go back to the home automation and see if my light is turning on or what, or whether it is receiving the values from the it is still here stuck. Yeah, it got 0 and 1, and my lights also turned on and off. You can see the change in the state of the lights. I'll try anyways. I'll try with the Google Assistant. So let me go back and call up the Google Assistant. How do you call it? I'll do is install that Assistant 1 MB app. Install it. You can also call up by just telling OK Google. I know it's not opening here, so I'm trying this way. So you click on open. Let me check out which account it is in, because the account which I have linked is the other one, so I have to have the same. So let me change the account to the one which I have already used it, so I'll change it to okay. I'm here. I change the account to the account which I have used. I'll click here and tell turn on light. You can see I got the response whatever I had given there. My volume is completely low. Okay, I'll tell it once again. Turn on light.
Okay, Hummingbird turning on light.
And then you can see here I should have got some value in the Arduino. Yeah, you can see I got zeros both the two times, and my light is also, instead of turning on, it is turned off. I'll just go here and then show you the screen camera. You can see the light turned off. I'll call up the Google Assistant once again and tell turn on light.
Okay, Hummingbird turning on light.
I'll do one thing. I've not created an applet to turn it off. I'll just turn it do it manually here, and then search for it. I'll tell it to turn on again. The light one is our feed, that is on feed. Turn on light. It should change here.
Okay, Hummingbird turning on light.
Okay, I think so. It should be in this state. Okay, I'll tell it now. Turn on light.
Okay, Hummingbird turning on light.
Light got turned on. You can see your white is glowing. Okay, Google. Doesn't work from here. I have to go here. I'll turn it off from.
This is the definition of alternate. Occur in turn repeatedly.
Okay, it's listening to me something. So this is how you can integrate IFTTT and Google Assistant with your projects using the IFTTT thing. You can also have many other things, like for an example, if I just give you, if I just go to the IFTTT and show you some other services which you have, which you get with the IFTTT. Okay, turn off. I'll just show you one more applet how to create, and then what I'll do is, sorry, I'm clicking on the laptop. Click on a create, and if this, I'll now this moment of time I'll see like time. Now I can set up a time, consider date and time. I choose a date and time and then select everyday art or every hour art. You have many options. Everyday art, connect. It's again asking for permission. It'll ask you for the first time every time. Okay, it is telling me Hawaii. No, I don't stay there. Mine is 5:30. Mumbai, Chennai. Connect. Every day at 12 p.m. I did a continue and then click on that and then you can choose Adafruit again. Adafruit, sorry. And then again choose a feed name, which was the feed you want to send the data to. So again, I select on and the data to be sent is this time 1 and then click on continue. So if I do this, every day at 12 p.m. it will automatically send the data. So this is how you can also use the weather services. You can also use many other services. Even you can read the SMS from the phone, like if so and so person calls, do something, turn on the lights. So you can almost automate anything, not just Adafruit or a Google Assistant or something like that. You can always automate every single thing using this service. So with this, we completed for the today's session and the agenda, whatever we had for today. So the agenda for today we had was all the things we have completed. And I extend my thanks for watching this and being here with me. And tomorrow we'll see how can we collect data from the sensors, store them in a CSV format, and then how can we apply data science techniques and use a machine learning techniques or use a Python and some machine learning libraries, that is pandas and numpys and so on, and what are those and how can we analyze the data both in an Excel and also in a uh, IPYNB or the Jupyter notebooks. So with this for today, I'll end up the session for today, and thanks for watching and thanks for attending today.